Hey YouTube, coming at you with a Fossil Cup team. I decided to play this league. I was just a lot of people seem to be playing it, so I'm like, okay, let's test it out. Even though I think I know what the meta is, and it is a very tight meta. So this is a team that just sort of balanced that did the best so far. Quagsire I think is just one of the most well-rounded Pokemon in this meta. Really only weak to grass. To cover grass, you have Pelliper and sort of Ferrothorn to a certain extent. Ferrothorn is kind of a tricky one. Ferrothorn I really like though as a safe swap because in general, like your hardest answers are like Lucario, Escav, any steel. But at least at the steals you can still throw Thunder, right? Whereas opposed to like if you try to do Pelliper is great as a safe swap unless you hit Lantern. And then if you hit Lantern, it's just like, ooh, you are in big trouble. So I kind of use Ferrothorn as a safe swap. Quagsire is just pretty good in the lead overall as long as you don't see a grass. So here we go. I've played this lead. I'm laughing because I played this lead probably like 7 times. And I did Mud Bomb Bait where they called the bait. I did Mud Bomb Bait where they shielded. I did a Stone Edge where they did not shield. And I did a Stone Edge where they shield. So I've done all 4. I don't know what the right move is. So if you have a Shadow, the non-Shadow against a Pelliper does not one-shot. So it leaves it just like a couple HP short of one-shotting. So there's that. Keep that in mind if you're going to try and doing that. The second thing is in one of them, I Mud Bomb Bait. They called the bait. They landed a Hurricane. I still didn't die. And then I landed a Stone Edge. So you can maneuver that either way. Ferrothorn, taken out there. A lot of people, I saw a lot of Pelipers. I saw a lot of, why I really like Ferrothorn in this meta. I saw a lot of Pelipers. I saw a lot of Lantern. I saw a lot of Mud Boys. Just good in seems to be neutral situations. I do not want to get farmed down. Come in here. Shield up a Weather Ball. That kind of looks like I would have caught that one. And again, this is probably where, like, I'm down shields, right? So they're going to go straight Stone Edge here, and you are going to see that I am going to live this. Close, but I live. So I live with 1 HP there. Get the Hurricane off myself. They let it go. They're going to try and Mud Shot down, which is just not going to work. I'm a flyer, so double resisted there. So they have to throw a Mud Bomb, which is great because now it puts them in farm down range. I have a ton of energy here, and they are low enough that I think I can just Mud Bomb for the win here. But they shield, and now I'm like, let's just Stone it. I could have, like, 100% that Mud Bomb would have taken out. But I decided, let's just go Stone Edge for the win. Ferrothorn, again, so the only lead you need to leave, let's see if I do go Pelliper. I do go Pelliper, let's see if I get hit with the Lantern here. There's really, especially if they have a grassland lead, I'm sure Lantern's going to come in. Okay, so they don't get out in time. That's interesting. Going straight for the Hurricane, and it lands, so that's great. And they're still, I mean, Thunder's going to one-shot me if they do have a Thunder. If they have Power Whip, I'll live, and they have to get to a second one. I may, I was about to say I may shield now because if they're staying in here, it's an okay matchup with Ferrothorn here. But I was already loaded with energy, so depending on what comes in and double Mud Boy probably Ferrothorn double Mud Boy. That's a very common lineup that I saw. Unfortunately, with this meta, it just seems like it is so narrow. Like it's just like I saw like 10 Pokemon in very different variations. The 3 I have: Swampert, Jellicent, Registeel, Berserker, Lantern, and maybe a few others, but it was pretty small. So yeah, this combo just kind of dealt with all of them just because there's so much water in this meta, which is not surprising, right? If you go over my top teams video, I basically said you're going to have, I expect this to be double Mud Boy, so I'm shielding this because I expect to have Swampert in the back and I'm just going to take it out. Yeah. You expect a ton of swamp. You expect a ton of water because there is rock, which is weak to water, and then there's steel, which again water resists steel, so that's a good start. And then just like a lot of these other water Pokemon have like ground type moves, Mud Boys, right? So they're everywhere. Escav lead is okay. They try and catch on the Quag, and here we come. Here again, this could just be an ABB with Swampert in the back, right? Because you have pull out a Ferrothorn, stuff like that. You still hit for neutral with these Mud Bombs because I'm half steel. come in, punish with Escav, and then roam free. If that's the case, I'm gonna win anyways because Pelliper is gonna have a good matchup against both Escav and they throw right away, which is good, and they came in right away, which is even better because now they are switch locked for a little bit. So I'm gonna get a few wing attacks off, and they are just throwing resisted counters, not doing much here. Chip them here. I probably let this go. I remember letting one go, and then I never let another Mega Horn go again. Because this is a resisted Mega Horn, and this resisted Mega Horn puts me so deep. Oh, it's just it is a lantern. Well, same sort of concept, right? Instead of a Swampert, it's a lantern. You're still trying to draw out the grass, because all the grass in here except for... Yeah, because the grass is either half water, like Ludicolo, or it's the Mud Boys, like Quagsire, or sorry, Ferrothorn, sorry. The grass are either Ludicolo, Ferrothorn, Shiftry, not Shiftry. What's that rock one? Why am I blanking on names tonight? Anyways, either way, Quagsire deals with all of them the best. Ferrothorn because it's half steel, Ludicolo because you can land the Stone Edge, Credilli. Credilli was the one I was thinking of, which is half ground, right? So neutral for both. Neutral for Mud Bombs there, and then you're getting into some of the random stuff lower up. So that is why Quagsire is a good safe swap to draw out those and then do that, but generally had you hard counter because I kind of recognize that team. Berserker. I have not tried a Berserker yet. I'm interested. I'm interested in Berserker. Just because the steel will resist a lot of stuff in this. And having those close combats, like I really don't want to take a close combat here. And they do just go straight close combat. And I was about to say, I expect a catch here because they just lowered their defense. So they have to try and catch or get out of there. Again, Shadow Ball still hurts. This is why Jellicent's not bad, because if you draw out a Ferrothorn or you draw out a... I mean, you're going to lose. But if you draw out a Ferrothorn, you draw out a Lantern, you can at least get a Shadow Ball off. Right? Decent chip. And then lose. And they can actually probably get to a move here. Just a Surf, though. But, like, that puts me low. I'm just throwing anything right away because I know one claw and I'm essentially gone. And that does a lot of chip damage. And they're at another move. I'm like, okay, like you get to the close combat in the same move, so it's definitely a close combat. They catch on the Pelliper. Okay, that's unfortunate. They catch on Pelliper. I immediately go in here, but at this point, I'm like, does one Hurricane take me out? Yes, one Hurricane does take you out. So I'm going to be taken out here, and then this is a loss. So good catch on the Pelliper to get out of a bad lead there. Yeah, so they got out of a bad lead and a bad switch where I just... Let me quit. How many times do I have to press that quit button? Lucario. Lucario's, again, one of those interesting ones where it's like, okay, that's clearly a Power Punch. But, like, these Mud Bombs are going to, like, it's so glassy. So this is basically going to take out. So they got to, like, shield everything. Another Power Punch will not take me out. So they're going to, and I'm going to get to it, outpace them, right? Because I go 5-4 instead of 5-5. So I got shield again. So I immediately come in here. I have no idea why they threw, because basically all they had to do was counter me down, and then they're going to come out with like 8 or 9 things, right? Because they were at 5 here and they went for Power Punch. So probably like 3 or 4 more counters to take out my Quagsire before I can get to another Mud Bomb. And then they'll have like 100 energy and be boosted. So I know I would have 2 shields, but then I was like, if I come with Pelliper and it's just like, if I come with Pelliper to a loaded thing, I have to shield up a Shadow Ball. If they bait me again, they're going to get the second shield right away. So I just came in right away. I did not expect them to throw the second Power Punch here. Because that move doesn't really make sense. So I do get hit with the Lantern, which is fine. Because all that's going to allow me to do is I'm going to chip here. They're going to be loaded with energy, thinking they're going to get the Surf off on the Quagsire to take me out. But I got an answer in Ferrothorn. And ferrothorn, getting this low enough, I can just now... I'll probably have to start shielding. They're just so shocked here. I'll have to shield eventually some Surfs or Thunderbolts, but I can just farm down and come out with essentially like 100 energy. I may shield up one here or the next one because I'm just committed to the farm down because Lucario has energy and I want to be able to throw... Looks like my opponent's lagging a bit. I want to be able to throw probably only a Power Whip needed because it's pretty low. I may just go straight for the Thunder. Actually, I don't want to play that game. Let's see what I decide to do here. I expect Lucario to come back in. Let's see if I just go straight Thunder and take it out. No, I go straight Power Whip. I think it's low enough to take it out because Lucario is so glassy, and if it's under half, it's probably okay. Yeah. Oh my god, Lucario is so glassy. And there is your Credilli. So I will get a couple of power-ups off here to take this out for the win. Because I am loaded with energy, and they lagged a bit. I also have a Quagsire, so it's fine. Quagsire. Again, this matchup, let's see if I just go straight Stone Edge this time. I do. Let's see if this is the one that shields it or does not shield it. Again, they can live, but I expect most to... Yeah, right. Seems to happen. When I bait, they call. When I don't bait, they shield. 2 Weather Balls to a non-shadow does not take you out. I learned that through multiple matchups here. You live with like a couple HP, so I can get to the Stone Edge. Is this one where they catch? Yeah, they caught it on the Quag. So good catch, but again, not for nothing. But so now just put you in. Oof, look at those bullet seeds adding up. So I have an option here to either Bolt Seed down and come out with 100 energy, but if I do, those Mud Bombs are adding up, so I'm gonna have to shield here, which is fine. Actually, I don't know if I can actually Bolt Seed down before they get to the next one because Quag is very, very spammy. Yeah, I don't think so, so I have to get to the move. That's fine because I'm still at a ton of energy, so if the Pelliper comes back in, I should be able to just chunk it or take it out pretty quickly here. Go to the Thunder, but just throw the Power Whip because I assume it's going to shield and try and farm up a bit here and then Weather Ball and take me out. Yeah, that's what I would do too. Because they don't know what my last Pokemon is. And they don't take me out with the Weather Ball. That's unfortunate. See, I would have made that mistake too. I like the idea though, because then you would have been loaded with energy and then you could have Weather Balled my Quag to take it out. Or actually probably Wing Attack down. They have a Lantern in the back. So I get to this thinking that I just need to like chip this enough and then I'll get a move off. But then I'm like, they're at like 11 Thunder Shocks now. I tried to call bait here, but they ended up Thunderbolting me and taking me out. Not a repeat. Just saw this matchup a million times. This time they Weather Ball. That's fine. I Stone Edge. Let's see if they shield or not. This one they shield as well. But again, if they go double Stone Edge, I'm still going to get to the second one here. I mean, double Weather Ball, I'll get to a second Stone Edge and live with 1 HP, a couple HP. And this one, I think they catch on an Escaf. But I have Escaf bug, so that's okay. And now I'm just going to farm like crazy. But again, I'm not taking a Mega Horn here, so I'm definitely going to shield this one. Yeah, shield. I learned my lesson. Yeah. I learned my lesson. I'm not taking a Mega Horn there. That would put me down in the deep red. Not worth it. Pelliper's dry-ish, so if it comes back in, I can just Hurricane it. Quags comes in. That's fine. I'm just going to go. We know that 2 Weather Balls doesn't take it out, so we got to go Hurricane Weather Ball here. And they need to farm up a bit too, so I'm just going straight Weather Ball here. Get this out of here. Force that shield or take it out. And I'm forcing that shield. They could bait, but I'm like, I still think I get to a Weather Ball even if they bait. And they go straight Stone Edge, which means I can just load up here. Yeah, Pelliper comes in, but I'm already super loaded. And that is good energy management on this. And force this all the way down. Weather Ball's not going to take me out. Pelliper is going to just dominate here. So I actually like Pelliper a lot, given this meta. A lot of Mud Boys, which you do well against. Not a ton of rock. Lanterns are biggest issue, but overall, pretty strong Pokemon. That's the team. Like I said, it's balanced. I liked it. All three seem to cover a lot of the meta, which is good. I am going to try some other teams. I saw one of the suggestions in my comments, so I'm going to try one of those teams. Because this thing is on next week too. It's Ultra League and Great League Fossil Cup again next week. So yeah, if you want to send me Fossil Cup teams, I'll probably showcase them next week because it's going to be Ultra League or this, right? So link in the description if you want to send those. Yeah, that's it. Still grinding, still in like I grinded up with this, and then I tried so many other Fossil Cup teams. I tried the double mud boy, but I think too many people were using that people were hunting it. I then tried a Registeel team that didn't work. I tried like 2 or 3, and I went like a combined maybe like 4 and 11. So I dropped a lot there just testing teams out. So use this team, don't use the other ones. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.